Hi, I thought I'd just do a quick check-in with you guys today because I handed back my first check-in today and there was a lot of little nuggets and things to be gleaned that I thought would be really beneficial to let you know for Gradeless. So check-ins, that's the first thing is I call all of my traditional tests check-ins. Tests I think carry a lot of weight. They carry extra anxiety. They carry extra there's a past of penalizing based off of tests. So you don't want to do that to students. So I refer to mine as check-ins because check-ins is more of what they actually are. A test is used to kind of figure out where the students are in the continuum at that moment in time, a snapshot of their performance without the assistance of other things. Like obviously if you have books or tools or resources or friends, sometimes you're able to solve more complex problems, but where are you at right now just authentically with your learning with no help from anything else? And so a check-in is a really good way to kind of calibrate against that. And that's what kind of my first 2 months of school is based off of calibrating. So I set a bar and I give the students opportunities to measure themselves against that bar to figure out where are they versus where I need them to be. And that's kind of the whole purpose of the first 2.5 months of school is to calibrate. So I handed my first check-in back to them today. The check-in covered kind of 6 key skills. I had the opportunities for students to show evidence of 6 different skills that we were talking about this year. So first thing I do is I hand in a cover sheet. That cover sheet is going to talk about what skills are shown. And the first time I do it much more scaffolded. So for example, I talked about evidence of I did I can statements for students to calibrate against. I specifically talked in class about where they would find which tests had evidence of what so that you could see that against each other. And I also did talk about, I gave them time and space to reflect. The other thing is remember the things you spend time on is evidence of what you value. So for example, if I do no time given to take up a test or to look at a check-in or to calibrate, then that means that I don't value that. And so make sure you give time. So today I was going to give an hour. They actually wanted more time to calibrate against, and so then I gave them an extra half hour. So we ended up spending an hour and a half today on this stuff. So essentially what happened was I gave them first the cover sheet, talked about these are the 6 skills you could have showed me some evidence of on this check-in, and then I gave them their check-in back. I also have been doing visibly random groups, and today I let them choose who they sat next to. And I think that part of the calibration process isn't just calibrating against what the teacher standards is, but also when you don't give marks and you're given feedback, and as a student I have to figure, okay, what does this feedback mean? What did she say to me? Well, what did she say to my friend? And what did they do differently? What are the nuances here? What are the differences? And so taking time to calibrate against that is really important. So you need to be able to have peers that you're trusting and willing to work with. So I let them choose their seats today because I know that for a lot of people, sharing evidence of what work you've done is really nerve-wracking, and so you want to calibrate against people that you're comfortable with. So I let them sit where they wanted to, and then I gave them time to look at the check-in, digest the feedback that I gave them, and start asking questions like, okay, where did I do well? What can I do better? What does this mean? What should it look like in the future? And I was just circulating, answering questions, and there's a whole idea about proximity. So if you're around, students are more willing to ask a question. If you're not around, then students may not. So I purposely made sure I cycled through the classroom and gave myself proximity to every student so that they could ask questions if they wanted to. And then I also had samples of solution sets of what I did. So I didn't take up test questions. I didn't go through each test question and say, this is here. I just gave them opportunity to ask questions, look at my solutions if they wanted to, look at their peers if they wanted to, take a look at what the feedback was and digest it, and then relate it to those 6 skills. After that, then, if they found that the evidence was there that had shown that they did really well on something or they had good evidence of, then I encouraged them to take a picture of it and put it into their portfolios. So in their portfolios, I think we have 15 core skills in our course this year. So they have 15 slides, and each slide is dedicated 1 per skill, and then they can take pictures, include photographic evidence, or write in, this is evidence of this. And so that's basically Gradeless check-ins in a nutshell. So I just wanted to kind of share what that process looked like for me today, handing those check-ins back, and then just how I encourage students to use that as a form of feedback to their learning. And sorry, my cat is in the way today, but it is what it is. So questions or concerns, let me know in the comments, and I hope you have a wonderful day.